before we go into property investing, always know what is your objective, what's your goal. Whatever it is, whether you buy property today, you want to invest into share, you want to invest into business, you want to invest into unit trust, Bitcoin, gold, whatever it is, you have to have a reason. So into property, also the same thing. Some people buy because of status. They like trophy purchase like KLCC area, Mont Kiara area, and so on. Some people buy for own stay, practicality. Some people buy because they want to upgrade. They are married already. Some people also buy because they want to downsize because they grow up, the children grow up already like 18 years old, 19 years old, go to the university, study abroad. So left with the parents only. Parents in the maybe a single store, double story terrace, too big. In terms of security, in terms of cleaning, also is a hassle. So move downsize to maybe condo, easier to carry stuff because got lift, right? Then fourth things, maybe people buy for their children. Because recently I also sold a few properties because the parents wanted to buy it for the children because the children couldn't afford that big amount of money, right? Then next, they also buy because of like to build their children's education fund. Some of my client is like they plan very far ahead. The client need that money at age 18, but they buy it today. Buy it today, maybe their children is just like 2 years old, 3 years old. So they have enough duration, like 15 years, 18 years, to accumulate the money to actually fund their education in the future. That way also works. Then, of course, there are people buy for kind of saving or retirement fund. For example, you also buy certain things like maybe unit trust, you have a savings plan or something to actually build your retirement fund apart from your PRS, apart from your EPF. So number 7 is that people also buy property to hedge against inflation. Why? The 500, okay, let's say we say 10 ringgit. The 10 ringgit in 1990 is different from the 10 ringgit is 2000. And it's not, it's different from the 10 ringgit in 2020. So the 10 ringgit, let's say you buy a property, not say 10 ringgit to buy a property. You buy a property, let's say worth 200,000 in 1990 or maybe 2000. Would it worth the same in 2020? No, because it has capital appreciation and also the rental that you can collect from owning this property. So the 200,000 in 2000 is not the same as having the 200,000 cash from 2000 to 2021 this today, because it's definitely worth less than 200,000. But property is different. Property gives you rental and also capital appreciation. That's why some people, especially doctors, a lot of my clients also bought many properties because they love to hedge or actually protect their fund. So number 8 is actually also something like hedging against inflation. But some people also buy because want to protect their wealth, protect their money. Some people buy because they definitely know the 500,000 cash today will definitely worth maybe half 10 years or 15 years down the road. But it is different if you have 500,000 in assets. 500,000 in assets, it will grow in value. Of course, you have to pick the right products as well. Then some people buy because they have already into business. They are spending quite a number of fund in business, and then they are doing okay. They want to diversify into other area. They could choose property, they could choose share, they could choose not insurance, unit trust. So they want to diversify just in case like one day maybe business is up and down. So when they go down, at least they have something as a backup plan. Maybe if the business go down, I got also clients saying that business go down and then they need cash to actually flow to turn around. We find the property come out with a fund, then actually they can still go on with their business. So you can actually play with a lot of things with property because you can still refi. Then of course, rental, you want to collect rental. Yes, so you want, some people likes to be a landlord. You own the property, maybe you buy cash or buy using the loan, and then you collect rental. Of course, there are more investment reasons, not just these 10. Just I want to highlight, there's a lot of different investment reasons that someone can make investment into property, into unit trust, or any other products. Reason. Subsale versus Undercon. Let's say option 1 is a subsale property. Price 600,000, acquisition cost easily 20%, down payment, legal fees, stamping, valuation and stuff. Equivalent roughly more or less is 120,000. Then assuming return in 10 years is about 5% increase per year. Let's say just for the illustration purpose. So you get 300K. So out of 300K, right? What is your return on capital? 300K over 120 because you acquire 120K. So your return on capital is 250%, which is 25% per year for subsale, which is a quite good return as well. So how about Undercon properties? Same price. The interest rate is 2.6%. So your monthly payment is about 1,300 a month. And then acquisition cost is about 1,300 times 3 plus 6, about 9,300 roughly. So we don't go into the question about how this figure comes first. We just you just follow me about this how do we compare the Undercon and the subsales first. Subsequently, you will understand the figures as well. So assuming the return is the same for 10 years, like 5%, you gain 300,000. But what's the difference in terms of return of capital? Now that your return is like the capital appreciation is 300,000. But what's the main difference? You can see the main difference now, your acquisition cost reduces significantly. So when you calculate your return on capital, 300,000 divided by 9.3 thousand, you get 3,000 over percent, which means that 300 over percent return per year. How good is that, right? So a lot of people actually misunderstood. They only take the percentage of the property capital appreciation. For example, like 600,000 next year, if 1 year gain like 30,000, you assume 5%. But you also have to calculate your acquisition cost, how much you pay out to acquire the property, because property allows you to leverage. Remember in the previous slide, allows you to leverage. So that means buying a 10 ringgit unit trust is not equivalent to buying a 10 ringgit property, because you can borrow, you can use other people's money. So that's why you need to calculate not just the difference in terms of the capital appreciation, but you also need to calculate the return on capital, how much capital you put in. For example, a business also same thing. The business like is 100,000. You put in 5,000, and then at the end of the day, right, you get 30,000 back. From the 5,000, you have to take the 30,000 divided by the 5,000. So you get 6, right? 6 times 100%, 600%. So it's like the return is always being benchmarked to your capital. So after understanding this chart, right, that means if you are able to reduce your acquisition cost significantly, even though your return could be 1%, 2%, 3%, the growth of the property price, like 100,000, right? You buy a property 100,000. After a few years, it will only grow like 10%. That means 10,000. But initially, you may just use 1,000 to own this property. So 1,000, 10,000 gain over 1,000, how many times? 10 times. 10 times time in terms of percentage is 1,000%. So you need to actually know when you play subsales and on Undercon, right? What is the major difference? Acquisition cost, keyword of this part is acquisition cost. If you can lower down your acquisition cost as much as possible, that means you can increase your return on investment or return on capital. You can actually play around with this. The higher the acquisition cost, the lower the return of capital.